What is the Lenovo IdeaPad 520S? The Lenovo IdeaPad 520S is the second-tier laptop in the company's lineup of thin, light and metal-clad laptops. Weighing in at 1.7 kilograms and at 19.3 millimeters thick, it's bulkier than the 14-inch 720S, which itself isn't quite as slim and sleek as the snazziest of laptops. However, starting at just £600, this laptop is half the price of those most premium models, yet still includes a full HD IPS display, a choice of nippy Intel processors, capacious SSD storage, a backlit keyboard, and an attractive and mostly metal design. If you're after a good all-round laptop that has a few premium touches but doesn't break the bank, the 520S is a great option, especially since it can also be configured with NVIDIA graphics for better gaming performance. Lenovo IdeaPad 520S, Design and Build. The 520S has a 14-inch screen with bezels that aren't particularly narrow, plus it's 19.3 mm thick. As such, this device is markedly bigger and heavier than the Microsoft Surface laptop, Dell XPS 13 and MacBook Pro. It remains portable, but I wouldn't describe it as a take-anywhere machine. Nonetheless, it retains much of the premium feel of the above machines thanks to its aluminium top and keyboard surround. Sadly, the bottom section is painted plastic rather than metal, but it looks good, nevertheless. Note, too, that the metal here is super thin sheets that have been pressed into shape. The device isn't hewn from solid slabs as is the case with the MacBooks. As a result, you don't get that reassuring sense of solidity, but rather there's a fair bit of flex to most of the panels. Still, the overall look and feel is still a clear step up from cheaper, all-plastic laptops. Open up this laptop and you'll notice that the screen folds fully flat, which can be useful. However, the hinge is a touch loose, so much so that once passed perpendicular, simply lifting up or putting down the laptop can cause the screen to drop further. Again, it's the sort of issue that's typical of cheaper laptops. You're very much paying for the look and features of a premium device here, not necessarily the fit and finish. As for those features, you get plenty. Connectivity is ample, with HDMI, USB 3.0, Thunderbolt and headphone ports down the left side and a second USB 3.0 port and a card reader on the right. The competing Acer Swift 3 manages to squeeze in an extra USB 3.0 port, but 2 plus the Thunderbolt should be sufficient for most users. You also get a backlit keyboard, large single-button trackpad, a fingerprint reader and webcam. Flip the laptop over and it's easy to remove the entire base of this machine, making it easy to keep the inner workings clean and dust-free. This also results in easy access to swap out the 2.5-inch storage drive and RAM, plus there's a spot for an M.2 SSD. Lenovo IdeaPad 520S, Screen. One key feature of the 520S that elevates it above more entry-level machines, other than its metal exterior, is its 14-inch screen. It uses an IPS LCD panel that provides better viewing angles and contrast and colors than cheaper TN LCD panels. You also get a plentiful full HD resolution, so the image is sharp and your workspace doesn't feel cramped like it can on smaller, low-resolution displays. The only downside is the slightly low maximum brightness level of 258 nits. We generally like to see at least 300 nits, and ideally 350-400 nits, since this makes the screen much easier to see if you find yourself trying to get stuff done when outside or in other brightly lit conditions. Lenovo IdeaPad 520S image quality. Max brightness, 258 nits. Contrast, 1285 to 1. Color temperature, 6333K. Gamma, 1.99. Delta E average, 0.13. sRGB coverage, 59.4%. Otherwise, performance is decent. Color balance is pretty close to our ideal, with a color temperature of 6333K, while contrast is a plentiful 1285 to 1. Gamma is a touch low, at 1.99, meaning the panel displays darker colors a little brighter and more washed out than they should be, but it's a very minor difference. It is possible for content creators to get by with this screen, but they may want to upgrade to a better class of display since this one covers only 59.4% of the sRGB color space. Also, like the IdeaPad 520S, the brightness control on this laptop is a bit irksome. Tap the shortcut buttons and it adjusts by the standard 10% in Windows, but dropping from 100% to just 90% results in brightness going from 259 nits to 180 nits. Tapping the button again and dropping to 80%, brightness hits just 100 nits. Such large changes make it difficult to find a level that offers the right balance. Trying to hit our usual test level of 150 nits required manually entering 85% brightness. Lenovo IdeaPad 520S, Performance. The Lenovo IdeaPad 520S is available in a number of configurations ranging from £600 up to £850. All share the same screen and 8GB of RAM, with the CPU, SSD and graphics card being the options available. The cheapest model includes the Intel Core i3-7100U CPU and a 128GB SSD, while the most expensive rises to an Intel Core i7-7500U and 256GB SSD. In between are options with an Intel Core i5-7200U, 256GB SSD and NVIDIA GT940MX graphics. I'm yet to confirm if there's also an option with the i7-7500U and NVIDIA graphics in the UK. The version sent in for review uses the i7-7500U without NVIDIA graphics, as specification that can currently be found at John Lewis for £750, which would normally be the natural choice for professionals seeking plenty of CPU power but who don't need extra graphics power. It's decent value and neatly. Instead, most users will be happy with the £700 option that includes an Intel Core i5-7200U and 256GB SSD, but without the graphics, or the £750 option that adds in the NVIDIA graphics. There's an almost bewildering amount of choice.